The subconscious mind doesn't have eyes. It can't see reality. It only knows what you tell it by the way you talk, by the way you think, and how you react. In fact, your brain is kind of dumb because it doesn't know the difference between reality and your imagination. So if you tell it, you have $5,000 in the bank right now, rather than the $5 you're actually seeing, the subconscious has to believe it and eventually show you it. This is why people who swear by delusional confidence, myself included, always win at life. It's why affirmations work. It's why visualization works. Not because I'm lucky, not because other people are lucky, not because the universe is upstairs with a magic wand granting random wishes to just lucky people, but because your brain is obeying instructions. Getting your subconscious to work for you instead of against you is the greatest thing you could possibly do for your life. And in this video, I am going to share step by step how to do it using neuroscience. Part 1 is understanding that your subconscious mind runs 95% of your life. Only 5% is your conscious mind. And your conscious mind is the thing that convinces you that time is linear. It convinces you that there's a past, a present, and a future. That is only 5% of your life. This 5% is the part of you that gets you motivated to achieve your goals and to set goals. The other 95% is your subconscious mind, who has no eyes. It doesn't go by calendar years. It doesn't go by months. It doesn't go by days. It doesn't know the difference between what is a memory and what is currently happening because, again, it doesn't know time. So it can't perceive that memory was happening 2 years ago or 15 years ago. It literally only goes by what you are currently focused on. Your subconscious is your brain's autopilot. It runs off patterns, repetition, familiarity, emotional memory, and core beliefs from childhood. And it also runs off of assumptions and expectations that you didn't even know you had. They're just sort of embedded in you from the ages of 0 to 7. And because it doesn't have eyes, and because it doesn't go off calendar years or knowing the difference between February and March, it's not checking whether or not those patterns that are not favoring you or serving you in your life anymore actually make any sense. It's not logging every time you make a new vision board and say to yourself, you want to have this life instead of this life. It's not updating based on your goals. It's also not checking if you've grown, okay? Like, this is why I understand, because I was also on this journey of healing and doing all the inner work and all of that, which is all great, and we can sometimes need that, but your subconscious mind doesn't, again, know how long you've been healing for. So if you've been healing for 5 years and you're like, I've been healing for 5 years, I should be deserving and worthy of my desire and of my manifestation and of this beautiful life that I see in my head. I'm deserving of it because I did the work for 5 years. Your subconscious mind doesn't hear that. It's not listening to you and saying, oh my God, okay, she's put in the work for 5 years, now she deserves it, let's give it to her. It's simply just giving you what your identity thinks is familiar, what you keep saying to yourself, what you keep placing your awareness on. If your conscious mind is only responsible for 5% of what you experience, and you're only relying on your conscious mind to reach whatever goal you want to reach, bring whatever you want into your life, you are not going to get very far. You are going to, and you most likely have already hit a plateau, because 5% is completely outweighed by 95%. So 5% is your time, it's your calendar years, it's your growth and how long it's taken you and your healing, and that is being completely trumped by your 95% subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is looking at your conscious mind, laughing and thinking, oh my, if only you knew. I don't really care about any of that. I don't even know that those things exist. What is time? I don't know. All I know is, what is little old Akita focusing on? Where is her awareness right now? This is why people with scarcity mindsets stay broke. This is why people with abandonment wounds attract avoidant partners, even though consciously that 5% of them knows they deserve and want and are worthy of this beautiful, amazing love. 95% of them is still focused on, and their awareness is placed on, the fact that they have abandonment issues, and therefore they are attracting more of those realities that align with someone who is identifying as having abandonment issues. I hope that makes sense, because this is something that I've really just clicked into my life in the last 3 months, where if you focus on healing and your awareness is on the fact that you're healing, you're going to bring more things into your life that need healing. If you're on a rabbit hole of finding and figuring out all the different things that went wrong in your life and where it all stemmed from, and your parents caused this trauma and this trauma. That is your current identity. You're identifying as somebody who is wounded, who has all these traumas, who has to do all the work before they can get the thing. And so that is the timeline you are currently existing in. And your subconscious only hears that. It's replaying and reviving the memories of the past, assuming that they're currently happening. So you get the same physiological response as you would or as you did when that thing happened years ago. Your conscious mind is like, this happened 5 years ago, it's been so long. Your subconscious mind doesn't know time, doesn't have eyes, can't see any of it, and is like, oh, this is happening right now. Okay, let's buck up for the physiological response and the mirroring of what she is currently replaying in her head. It doesn't know you're replaying it. It's just giving you what you're thinking and what you're focused on. It is so intelligent. It is so smart. And this is why you can get it to work for you. And getting it to work for you is the greatest thing you'll ever do in your life. And that brings us to the most important concept in neuroscience to change your reality using your subconscious mind. And that is neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is how the brain actually rewires itself. So I used neuroplasticity when I was bedridden in 2020. I fell very, very sick, very ill. I was bedridden for a year. No doctor could figure out what was going on with me. I genuinely thought I was passing away. Like, my whole life went tits up. And throughout this journey of being bedridden and all the stuff that came with it and after it, I learned about all the stuff I'm talking about today. Neuroscience, neuroplasticity, and I used neuroplasticity. I would meditate for 2 or 3 hours every single day. And I would imagine myself running again. I would imagine myself doing the basic things that I was not able to do anymore, like cleaning my room. And I was literally rewiring the neural pathways in my brain for health again. The most amazing thing about the brain is that it's constantly reshaping itself. It doesn't just die off after a certain age. This is why old habits can die. Old beliefs can die. New habits and identities can form. New emotional patterns and responses can be installed and inputted into your body. Now I want to talk about the reticular activating system, because this is the key of why you experience certain things and why things are brought into your awareness. And you're like, whoa, I was just thinking about that and now it happened. Or now I've noticed this, red lipstick, and now all I can see is red lipstick. It's because it's in your awareness now. So your reticular activating system is responsible for filtering out anything that doesn't align with your belief system. So anything you believe to be true, your reticular activating system is working like your best friend in there to prove it to you by bringing things into your awareness, aka your reality, like what you physically see in front of you, to prove to you that that belief is yours. Like, that is true for you, right? And this is why things can be true for me in my life, and those same things can't be true in your life, because the belief in my life and the belief in your life might be completely different. So you're going to experience reality very differently based off of this. Now, if your reticular activating system was to show you every single thing in your awareness, your brain would fry. It's like a computer. It would just combust. It's too much information. So instead, it just shows you what you already believe to be true. It's not trying to convince you to believe something different. It's just literally taking your command, right? And it's obeying you. So a famous example is you go to a dealership and you're buying this red Corvette, and you have never seen red Corvettes on the street before, but then you decide you want to get this red Corvette, and you buy it, and you're driving it off the lot, and you're ripping down the highway, listening to your favorite tunes. Now all of a sudden, you see a few red Corvettes. The next day you take your car out again, and you're seeing more red Corvettes, and now all you can literally see is these red Corvettes. It's not that red Corvettes are being made more of, or more people are buying them, and they're just this super popular car now. It's because the red Corvette is now yours. It is now etched into your point of awareness and your belief system, because you are now an owner of red Corvette. So you are now going to be shown red Corvettes that were already there, but now it's in your awareness. So you are focused on the red Corvette. So basically your reticular activating system is filtering in red Corvettes. Before, it wasn't in your awareness. You weren't even thinking about red Corvettes. So your reticular activating system was like, not important, we're filtering them out. Now it's in your awareness, so you will be made more aware of red Corvettes. That is the job of your reticular activating system. So replace the red Corvette with anything. You're focused on the fact that people always leave you. That is a belief of yours. Your reticular activating system is literally going to work. It's its day job. It's waking up just like you, going to work, and it's going and figuring out how it's going to prove that to you. You believe people always leave you? Okay, it's going to conspire to bring that thought into your real reality for you to experience it. You are only ever experiencing yourself, what you're thinking, what you're saying, how you're feeling. And once you can truly understand that everything around you is just you will be very diligent in what you're thinking. And what I've recently learned is these things can be so minor and they can be so microscopic. And that's where people fall into this, well, I've done the big work, right? Like I know my big beliefs and all of the things not serving me, the macro stuff, but why is my life still not changing? Like I'm halfway there. I've got the almost love, the almost job, the almost success. Why am I not at the full thing yet? It's because those microscopic things like taking on an identity of, okay, I am no longer the woman that gets left and abandoned. That's the old identity. I'm in this new identity though, where I have to still earn the love in some way. Like I'm not worried that the man's gonna leave me. I'm worried that I've got to keep the love alive somehow. Like I can't just rest in the knowing that this love is mine. It's these microscopic thoughts and beliefs that also are still semi-shaping the experience that you're having. Really examine your life right now. Write down the things, and I'm gonna give you a whole protocol after, but write down the things that you love about your life that are really going well and you're like, yes, love this experience, keeping it in our awareness. And then outline the things that you're like, okay, hold on, why am I still not hitting that number in my income yet? Why am I still getting these almost loves, right? That's evidence. We don't look at it and think, oh my God, life sucks. Why is this happening to me? I'm such a, oh God, my life, like that person's got the, no. We know that what we're experiencing is literally ourselves. It's a mirror, right? Like when you look in the mirror, you're smiling at yourself, you're frowning at yourself, you're doing it and you're just experiencing that reflection in the mirror. You're going first. So what you're thinking is what you're experiencing. So when you look at your life and you're like, okay, there's a few little holes here that I don't like. What was your thinking last week, 2 weeks ago, a month ago? Where did that experience come from? It came from you. Where in your brain did it come from? And that's when you start just completely just not identifying with that version of yourself. Okay, so that's the reticular activating system. She's important and she's a key. Now, the most important thing is that your brain can literally rewire itself at any age, but it's important that we're speaking the right language of the subconscious mind so it's actually hearing what we're saying, right? Because I keep drilling it down that it has no eyes. So it's important that we stop speaking the language of the conscious mind, which is time and linear patterns and everything, has to go like this and there's a past, a present, and a future. That's all language for the conscious mind, and she's only 5%, okay? We're not interested in her. We've got to talk in the language of the subconscious mind because it's 95%. And the language of the subconscious mind is repetition, it's emotion, and it's identity. So it all takes place in the imagination, what you're thinking, how you're speaking, which again is all stemming from a thought. So a thought creates what you say and how you behave. So really not interested in the other stuff if we're going just basics. All we're interested in is where we are placing our awareness and what thoughts we are constantly thinking. If you understand these 3 languages of the subconscious, you can change your life rapidly and consistently. Oh, and permanently, okay? Well, obviously, we want all of this to change and stay there. We want to call the thing in and we want to keep it in place. These are the 3 neuroscientific keys to reprogramming the subconscious mind. So the first one is repetition, which is basically, I'm sure you've heard someone say it, and his name is Dr. Joe Dispenza. Neurons that fire together wire together. Your subconscious mind is not playing by the same rules. It doesn't care if something is true or it's not true. It cares about how many reps you're getting in, meaning how many times are you repeating the same thought. Doesn't matter if it's true and you lost this argument and whatever happened. it does not care. It's logging how many times you're repeating that over and over again in your head. You are literally installing this code in your subconscious mind the more times you repeat something over and over again. And this is where it becomes detrimental to our negative thinking, because we think that we're just having these passing thoughts, because consciously we are obviously in our lives operating from a conscious state of being where we're like, no, we believe in time and we know that this isn't currently happening. It happened like last week. So we're consciously thinking that it's not affecting us because we aren't actually experiencing it right now. But the subconscious is back there, it's taking notes. It's like, okay, she had this fight, she's replaying the fight. We don't know if the fight's happening now or if it happened last week or it's gonna happen in the future. We just know what we're feeling and we're getting these repetitions, and she's constantly putting in reps in the mental gym that are affirming that this fight is important to her. So let's keep writing this down and let's keep bringing the reality of this fight and all the things that come with it into her life. If you think a thought enough times, you don't even have to believe it, your just awareness is on it enough times, your brain will build a neural pathway for it, making it 10 times more significant in your mind, in your body, in your entire being. Once that pathway is strong enough because you've thought the thought enough times that it's built this neural pathway, it becomes your identity. And this is why your inner dialogue, your outer dialogue, which is just a reflection of your inner dialogue, is so important. And I don't think I can stress enough how much more important mental discipline is than physical discipline. It is so much more significant. If you're constantly telling yourself, you are so behind, people always leave me, nothing ever works out, I'm always getting the short end of the stick, those are all inner conversations that you're having that are not helping you at any point in time. Your subconscious is, again, waking up like you for its day job, okay? It's taking notes. It's like, what is she thinking today? Okay, she is thinking this. It's literally like it's tape recording you. It's recording everything you're thinking, saying, those conversations that you have with yourself while you're brushing your teeth, while you're in the shower washing your hair, and those arguments that you're having with other people in your head. It's all being recorded. And you're gonna see that next week. You're gonna see that in a couple of days. Like, you have to be so diligent about mentally where you are at all times. Your subconscious is accepting that as a command, which is great news, because we can just slightly change our thinking and our self-talk. You're on the way to building a new neural pathway to support that command. Again, very important to note that your brain is following patterns. It's following repetition. It's not following truth. So you don't actually have to believe this. And I've been told before when I was first on my journey that it's important to believe it. The belief comes after. Once you start thinking that thought constantly, that's all your subconscious is caring about. It doesn't care if it's the most craziest thing that you're thinking, like, I have $1 million in the bank right now, even though you have 5. It doesn't know. It's not fact checking you. It's only hearing what you're telling yourself, okay? So the first neuroscientific key is repetition. Next is emotion. Now, I like to believe, and this is just experience in my own life, that thought always trumps everything. Thought trumps belief, thought trumps emotion. I used to have this weird rule in my life where I used to think that you needed this unwavering emotion and this intense emotional experience and belief to bring the thought into your mind, therefore your experience. No, it doesn't. You don't need any of those things. Emotion is good because your brain and your body are tagging that experience as important when you have a very intense emotion attached to it. But as long as you have the thought, you are going to naturally have the belief after, and the emotion is going to follow the belief. So it's sort of this like ladder system. But I just thought I would share with you that emotion does play a part, but it's not going to at all ruin or like not make it happen if you don't have the emotion that comes with it, right? The reason why emotions can intensify and perhaps speed up the manifestation of the things that you're thinking is because your amygdala now is into the equation, right? So the amygdala is the emotional amplifier. So if your subconscious is having a repeated thought and then it's having this amplified emotion attached to the thought, it's going to make priority of that thought because you've already hit repetition and now you've attached this emotional experience to it. And it's like, okay, she keeps repeating this thought. She's having intense emotions that are related to that thought when she thinks of it, we are going to move this at the front of the line because it's seeming important. It pushes it into priority, basically. So you think of your mind, your subconscious has two lanes. It's got priority and it's happening, it will come, but we've got priority lane and we've got just like a regular lane. When you have emotion and repetition, you sort of move that thought into the priority lane. The express lane, if you will, okay? That's how I'm gonna think of it. This is why emotionally charged memories stick harder, right? Like even if that thing only occurred like 2 weeks out of your entire life, like, but there was such intense emotion behind it or with it, it is gonna stick harder than something you experienced over like the course of 2-3 years, but it was kind of like, ugh, whatever. You know, like there's barely any emotional charge to it. This 2-week thing that had such an emotional charge takes precedence over the thing that was longer time-wise, but the emotional charge wasn't there, so it doesn't really cause an impact in the body. This is why trauma loops repeat, but it's also why visualizations are one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself every single day. Like make that a routine because it doesn't know if this is a lived imagination, like imaginal thought, or if this is a lived experience because your emotional experience is just the same, right? So again, if the subconscious has no eyes, it doesn't know if you're experiencing yourself eating a lemon right now or you're visualizing yourself eating a lemon. By the way, try that. It's a cool trick to really understand how this works. Your glands will start to tighten up and you'll start to salivate as if you are eating an actual lemon. That is a very cool little fun thing to do for yourself to prove that your brain literally does not know the difference between what you're thinking and, you know, visualizing and what is currently happening, like physically. And this is also important to note that when you go back to the past, to a memory that you don't want to remember, or it was a very traumatic memory and there was a lot of emotional stuff happening in that memory, you're re-traumatizing yourself when you do that because your brain doesn't know if it's a memory or if it's a current experience. Your emotional tag, the way that the brain tagged that emotion years ago when it was happening was so high that when you go back to that memory in imagination, you're re-traumatizing yourself because you're experiencing such an emotional reaction to the memory. Right? So I hope that makes sense. Don't go re-dig up the past and start fighting with people in your head and, oh, if I only had said this one point, then I would have won the argument. Like, nobody cares, okay? Subconscious actually does care because it's taking notes. So stop re-traumatizing yourself, going back to old memories, things that you don't even want to experience anymore. Just leave them dead. It's a graveyard, okay? Just leave it. And the third neuroscientific key to changing and reprogramming your life and your brain and all of that good stuff is your identity. One of the most important things. So we have repetition, we have emotion, and then we have identity, and those two things make up your identity. Who you are constantly assuming yourself to be. This I just learned recently, and it's part of the DMN network or mode in your brain that is responsible for your self-image, your expectations, your worldview, your personal narrative, and just who you believe you are, like your I am in the world. And DMN stands for Default Mode Network. And this DMN is very, very active. It's at a higher level of activity when you are focused on your inner world. So not when you're like consciously in the world interacting with it, when you're in visualization, when you're daydreaming, when you're just focused inward and you're on those hot girl walks and you're just thinking about your life. This is when it's at its most highest activity. So why is that important? Because when you're daydreaming, you better be daydreaming of your best life and the version of you that you want to be, okay? That is who you're identifying as within your inner world. Doesn't matter if your outer world is showing you complete contradiction to that identity, doesn't matter. The subconscious is going to sabotage anything that contradicts your identity. This is why people can lose weight and then gain it back. This is why people can want to lose weight so badly in their conscious mind. They're like, all I want is to be sexy, skinny, and yada, yada, yada. But it never happens. Like for some reason, they cannot lose the weight because maybe their weight is associated with a part of their identity that makes them feel safe. So losing the weight thereby makes them unsafe. Most lottery winners win all the money and then they blow it and they're poor again because their identity is not that of someone who knows how to make money, get money, and keep money. When your identity doesn't match what you're wanting, you're going to lose it. It is not going to stick in your life. And this is why identity work is the most important thing, because what you want, your identity has to match it. That is the only way it comes into your life. You get what you are being, who you are being. So whatever you want, you must become it. And I used to think this was a very convoluted process and we must match frequencies and we must go up the Hawkins scale of positive emotions. Scrap all of that. All you literally have to do is just say, this is who I am. I am a YouTuber with 1 million subscribers, okay? This is my identity, and that is who you show up as. You think from that version of yourself. You don't sit here and think, okay, I'm a YouTuber with 1 million subscribers, and then I'm filming the video now, and I'm like, okay, only like 3 people are gonna watch this, or I upload the video, and it's not gonna do well, and blah, blah, blah. No. Because a YouTuber with 1 million subscribers has a certain identity, and if that's what you want to bring into your life, you become that identity. You shift your identity first and then your behavior follows. You don't have to think of all the nitty-gritty stuff that comes with that. Okay, so if I'm this version of myself and I have 1 million subscribers on YouTube, then I must be doing this, this, and this. Like you come up with this whole game plan that you gotta now post this many times a week. No. You just choose. This is the identity. And naturally, your brain is so intelligent that it will start to push out the behaviors you need to do. You will start having thoughts about what videos you should be making, how to fill the gap in the market, when you should be posting, at what time you should be posting. All of that is secondary. Your primary responsibility is to become the person and just actually not even become, because become implies waiting and a journey to get there. We're off that. We don't need that. We decide, this is who I am. You shift your identity first, the rest will follow. Okay, so now I'm gonna give you a method rooted in actual neuroscience that is going to shift your internal wiring permanently. Step number 1, obviously we have to look at the old wiring, okay? So like I said earlier in the video, that was a little sneak peek. You're gonna look at your life and you're gonna make a list. What's looking real good? What do I like? What do I wanna keep? You're gonna make another column and you're gonna write everything that's not looking how you want it. Where are there a little bit of holes in your life? What keeps repeating that you don't like? That right there is your subconscious script. That is what your subconscious is playing out for you because you've made it command so many times. Step number 2, you're going to now choose a new identity based on those things. So if you identify that love is always leaving you, you're always getting stood up, you're always getting ghosted, you're losing money, you get it, but you lose it, those are all your subconscious scripts, and now you're gonna completely flip that. So you're basically reverse engineering what is showing up that you don't like, that is your subconscious script, and you're changing it into the positive of that, if that makes sense. So if love keeps ghosting you, right? Your new identity is you are a woman that never gets ghosted. You never get left because how could anybody leave you? That is your new script. That is your new identity. These are not goals. Let me make that very clear. Again, this is not a goal setting thing. I don't believe in setting goals. I believe in just setting an identity. I'm setting an identity, not a goal, because goals imply a journey, a ladder process. We got to do this and this and this. No. What kind of person effortlessly has the life you want? Now you can make this so much simpler by just going to ChatGPT and literally asking it to do this for you. Like, this is who you are. You are a woman. Let's just use the materialistic example of love. You're wanting love, and that's, you want to bring in your dream guy, your dream relationship, and you currently don't have that. So now you are identifying as the woman who is always chosen, loved, and adored. Now again, this is going to be microscopic for you. If you feel chosen, but you're still not getting chosen, there's something missing there. So you have to identify the little smaller scripts, but just take this and do this first, and then you can go into that after. So take that, you are now a chosen, loved, and adored woman who is in the relationship of her dreams. Go to ChatGPT and ask what behaviors she has, how she thinks, how she acts, what her beliefs are, what she does in her day. Like, make it this whole big script, and that is now who you are. Your brain needs a blueprint. It needs commands. It's only doing what you tell it to do, what you're thinking, what you're repeating, and what you're, obviously feeling. And that takes me now to adding in the neuroscientific keys that we spoke about. So we need repetition. You don't need 500 new thoughts. You need a few key thoughts that are going to, represent your new identity. So what would you be thinking? You are loved, adored, and chosen. That is your baseline. That could be one. Your second one could be you are in the relationship of your dreams. Like I said, you don't have to at first be super specific. You don't actually have to be specific at all. You have the thought, you are loved, chosen, and adored, and you are in the relationship of your dreams. Those two things imply what? That you are that person that has it. So everything else that has to naturally fall into place for you to be in the relationship of your dreams will happen just by you repeating this thought. So you don't have to think of the intricacies of how, and maybe I need to come up with a different thought or affirmation that implies this kind of relationship. No, you know the relationship of your dreams in your heart, right? You know that your subconscious is going to naturally bring that, because you're going to be also thinking about that as you do this, if that makes sense. Like the thoughts that you have, the dominant ones, like you're in the relationship of your dreams, the more you repeat that, you're naturally going to have off branches of thoughts that are aligned with that. So naturally other thoughts will come up, and other, and affirmations are just thoughts. So you're naturally going to have these other affirmations that come up that you can repeat, but just stick to like 2. Remember that this is not delusional thinking or wishful thinking. It is just an instruction. Okay, you're learning that now your mind only works on instructions, so now you're giving new instructions and better instructions. The second one was emotion, so you're gonna bring a little emotion. It doesn't have to be this huge kumbaya visualization moment every single day. It's just this certainty, and my favorite emotion to just rest in is this knowing. Like, I've placed the order, it's happening, don't know when, don't really care, because I've already went inside my mind and experienced it, and that is what is actual reality. So I know if I've experienced it here, it's gonna come to me out here at some point. I don't know, right? So it's just this deep knowing and this deep calmness, because I've already experienced it in my mind, and that is the real reality. Even just 5% of this is enough for your brain to tag it as important. And then the last step of this entire process is to redirect your awareness. So in simple terms, where you place your focus is what you will be getting. Where you place your focus mentally, emotionally, all of it, that is what you're going to be getting. So when you start to have a thought that goes against your new thought, you redirect your awareness back to your favorable thought, the thing that you want to experience. Do not panic or spiral or go into victim mode when this happens, because it will. You just simply say, that is old and dead and gone, and we're waiting for the new script to catch up, because that is simply all this is. And I'm gonna make a bigger, deeper video on all of this. This lipstick is part of the old story, okay? It's dead. It's like, it's literally, it's here, but it's dead. And if I don't want this lipstick anymore, I don't have to have this lipstick anymore. It's dead. If I want this lipstick to come into my future, AKA next week, I keep placing my awareness on it. But if I don't want it to, it can literally simply be dead, and I could flick this away and have no more lipstick, red lipstick, in what is coming next week, by simply taking my awareness off of it or placing my awareness on it, right? So you have to think of it like this. Anything in your reality right now, like what you're experiencing, is dead and gone. It is literally part of what you were thinking months ago, weeks ago, days ago. The only reason why you don't yet have the thing that you're placing your awareness on now is because this all stuff is dense. It's so dense. The stuff in the mental plane and in the 5D, the 5th dimensional plane, is all very fast moving. It's like high speed thoughts that are like zipping through very, very quickly. So as soon as we think it, it's done, but it's taking a little bit of like trickle time to get down into the 3D because it's denser, right? So it has to take shape and take form, and this is all now getting a little bit scientific for me, or chemistry based, which is not my forte, but you get the point. This is dense matter here in the 3D. It takes longer to build and to form so we can physically touch it and experience it. In the 5D and the 4D, it's all very quick moving. It's like Wi-Fi that's super, super high, and you're paying for the best package ever. What we want in our 3D reality to stay, we keep focusing on. And what we don't want to stay doesn't have to stay, because it's all an old script. It's all dead. We just take our awareness off of it so we don't experience it anymore in the coming days, in the next week, in the next month. I'm starting a new membership. It's going to be called the Upgrade Club. It's going to be linked down below. You can check it out. I'm going to be doing a January quantum reinvention recalibration challenge starting January 1st. So if you're interested in that, make sure to check out the membership down below and just keep your eyes on it. I'm going to start putting some stuff in there right now. If you want to take this to the next level, watch this video next.